Part 1. Types of Ghosts. Though most ghosts are reported to look something like people, there are many different types of haunting. Some ghosts are not recognizable as phantoms because they look so solid and real. These are usually the ghosts of the newly dead. They most often appear to relatives or close friends just as they are dying. Many ghosts are surrounded by a kind of glowing light like a halo or even by fire. Other apparitions are colorless and transparent. They can look as if they are part of the walls or the furniture of the rooms in which they appear. We're going to see example of some of the most common form of haunting. The fiery phantom. An example of a fiery phantom was seen one night in Rome in 1683. A man woke up to find the ghost of a woman standing by his bed. She was dressed in white and her whole body gave off a dazzling bright light that lit up the whole room. The ghost began talking to the surprised man as bright flames shot out from her body. "Look where I touch," she said, before vanishing into thin air. The bed cover had been burned and bore the scorched imprint of the ghost's right hand. The glowing ghost. Not all ghosts are immediately visible, even to people who can hear them moving about. Some years ago, in Italy, after a workman died, his friends heard the sounds of footsteps in the workshop. They called in a photographer to check their suspicions that the building was haunted. Although no phantom was ever seen by the workers, a photograph taken in the middle of the night clearly showed the misty figure of a ghost. It was the dead workman standing at his old bench just as if he were alive. The fading ghost. Some ghosts fade away as they grow older. In the 18th century, a spectral woman wearing a red dress, red shoes and a black headdress was seen in an old house. About 70 years later, she was seen dressed in pink. By the middle of the 19th century, she had become a ghost in a white gown with grey hair. In 1939, the haunting was reduced to a phantom footsteps and the swish of a dress, and by 1971, her presence was merely sensed by workmen demolishing the house. The shrouded ghost. Ghosts are very often thought as shrouded figures, perhaps because of the white robes in which people were once buried. King Charles I saw a shrouded spectre in 1645 during the English Civil War. It was a ghost of his loyal friend, the Earl of Stratford, who had recently been executed. He warned the king that he would lose the battle he planned for the next day. Charles ignored the ghostly advice, and the royalists never recovered from the defeat they suffered in this battle. The skeleton ghost. Sometimes a place is haunted by machines as well as people. Abraham Lincoln's funeral train is said to haunt the route it took through New York State when carrying the president's body after he was killed in 1865. Whenever the ghostly train passes through a station, all the clocks are set to stop. Lincoln has never been seen on the train, though his ghost has appeared in the White House, but a band of musicians in the form of skeletons has been seen on one of the train's wagons. Part 2. Haunted Houses. What is a haunted house? Many houses appear to be the homes not only of the living people, but also of some supernatural presence. The ghostly inhabitants may make its presence felt in various ways. Sometimes it seems to be the spirit of someone who has died. People living in the house may hear moans or groans in the middle of the night, or the sound of voices or footsteps when no one else is present. They may see strange lights or misty phantom shapes. They may see figures that seem entirely human, except for the lack of a head or the ability to pass through walls. Sometimes the disturbances in a haunted house may be non-human. There have been reports of mysterious smells, sudden draughts in closed rooms, and abrupt changes in temperature. Sometimes lights go on and off, and objects move about, apparently of their own accord. Sometimes the haunting stops as soon as a particular person stops living in the house. On other occasions, it proves necessary to call in an expert, usually a priest, who knows how to deal with the haunting. Very often, investigation of the history of a haunted place reveals some terrible tragedy in its past. For this reason, many people believe that a haunting is caused because the spirit of someone connected with the place is earthbound or unable to join the spirit world. Few houses remain permanently haunted. Most are haunted only at special times of the year, and sometimes the spectre appears only once. The most haunted houses in the world? Number 1. In 1863, in the English village of Borley, about 100 kilometers northeast of London, a rectory was built on the site of an old parsonage. It was to become famous as the home of a variety of ghosts and a huge number of strange happenings. By 1939, when the house burned down, there had been over 200 reported sightings of ghosts. Nothing is left of the rectory today except many stories and a host of unanswered questions. Those who live in Borley village say that a phantom nun has haunted the area for centuries. She often used to wander through the grounds of the rectory, and she can still be seen today gliding along a path called Nun's Walk. When the Reverend Henry Bull had Borley Rectory built, he put a summer house facing the Nun's Walk, so that he could sit and watch the nun. She startled people by peering in at them through the windows of the new house. Many other strange things occurred at this time. A phantom coach and horses raced along the drive, bells rang, and objects flew about the house without any explanation. Voices, footsteps, figures, and even strange smells were reported. In 1930, the Reverend Foyster and his wife, Marian, moved into the rectory. Soon afterwards, disturbing words that looked like messages began to appear on the walls. One sentence said simply, "Marion, please help get." Harry Price, an expert ghost hunter, rented the rectory for a year in 1937. A huge file of odd happenings was built up by his team of 48 observers. They saw the nun walk on the lawn. Other ghostly shapes appeared to pass through walls. In 1939, the rectory was destroyed by a fire. Ghosts looked on at the flames. People searching in the ruins saw lights, heard knockings, and discovered inexplicable variations in temperature where the house used to stand. Harry Price returned in 1943 to make further investigations. Digging in the cellar, he found part of the jawbone of a young woman. He felt sure it was from the Phantom Nun and gave it a Christian burial in an attempt to end the hauntings. Number 2. Rainham Hall, Norfolk, England. This country home in England may be gorgeous, but it also has a dark past. The mysterious brown lady, rumoured to be Lady Dorothy Walpole, was reported to be one of Rainham's Hall apparitions captured on film in the December 1936 edition of Country Life. Guests can visit the home on open days throughout the year. Number 3. Lizzie Borden House, Fall River, Massachusetts. This allegedly haunted bed and breakfast is the site of a gruesome and highly publicized murder. Although she was eventually acquitted, Lizzie Borden was suspected of killing her father and stepmother with a hatchet in the unassuming home in 1892. Since then, guests have reported all kinds of strange sightings in the house. Ghost tours and overnight stays are available for intrepid travelers who want to experience the notorious residence for themselves. Number 4. Ancient Rum Inn, Wotton under Edge, England. This 12th century inn is one of the oldest in the Western world. It is believed to have once been a pagan burial ground and is now haunted by more than 20 spirits, including ghost children and a monk. Fearless travelers can book a ghost hunt at the inn in hopes of experiencing the spirits themselves. Number 5. The Stanley Hotel, Estes Park, Colorado. This famous Rocky Mountain destination is known as one of the inspirations for Stephen King's The Shining, but it also has its own spooky past. Allegedly, staff members have encountered ghosts like the maid from room 217, who is known to pack away guests' clothing when they aren't looking. The hotel now offers 4 different styles of accommodations. and it's a great home base if you want to explore Rocky Mountain National Park.
Si tu veux progresser efficacement en anglais, n'hésite pas à t'abonner à Mega Easy English, à enclencher la cloche notification et à liker les vidéos. Merci d'avance.